We are live, Mr. Chair.
Okay, very much. Thank you. This is the September meeting of the Northborough Conservation Commission. My name is Greg Young. I'm the chair. This open meeting of Northborough Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, the town of Northborough has been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. All members of the Northborough Conservation Commission are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows Northborough Conservation Commission to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded, so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda, unless I note otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. Conferring member access. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Diane Gouldner.
Here.
Tom Beals.
He's muted.
Tom, you're on mute.
Here.
Kelly Marston.
Here.
And Greg Young is here. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mia McDonald.
Present.
Chief David Parenti.
Present.
Perfect. Some ground rules. For presenters and or applicants listed on the agenda, I will invite each speaker or applicant on the agenda by name to make a presentation and speak to their application. Participants will provide their full name and hold until their name is called. Each speaker will be asked to mute their phone or computer when not speaking and to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. Those responding will be asked to wait until the floor is yielded to them by the chair. Speakers who wish to respond to the comments of others do so through me, taking care to identify themselves. Each vote taken by the commission will be conducted by roll call vote. After members have spoken, we will afford public comment as follows. By phone, dial *9 to raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Please note that part of your phone number will be visible to those viewing the meeting. By Zoom, click Raise Hand on the bottom of your screen and wait to be recognized by the chair. I will ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and addresses only. Once the chair has a list of all public commenters, I will call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. Diane, you're on.
The meeting will include the following hearings to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Northborough Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice of intent for 68 Northgate Road, map 95, parcel 104 by Zach Stone for the installation of a lawn, fence, and associated site work. Request for determination of applicability 0 Main Street, map 33, parcel 48 by the Northborough Trails Committee for the replacement and widening of boardwalk bridges and associated site work. Notice of intent 30 Maple Lane, map 65, parcel 6 by Stephen Riley for a proposed addition to an existing single-family house with garage and driveway extension and associated site work. That's it.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. The minutes of August 12th. I don't believe we can approve these because we have a quorum of attendees tonight, but I believe Tom
I wasn't
was
there.
absent from last
I wasn't
month,
there.
so, okay. So we'll just push those to October. Second announcement I have here before we get into the immediate here is we filled the open commissioner's position. If you know Dan Clark from Open Space. Dan came before us about 2 or 3, 4 months ago and spoke about working the CPC request for Bartlett Pond. He's an employee of DCR, I guess, Mia, right? A PhD in environmental sciences and runs Quabbin Reservoir. So, I mean, he's got some real good background, I think, for the commission. Yep. We had a deep applicant pool. I mean, it was, you couldn't go wrong. Really, any of those people, I did the 4 candidates really would have brought something, I think. But Dan had just a little click above everybody else with his background. So that's good news. He'll be here in October. So, Mia, 161 Church Street. That continued, yeah.
Yes, they've requested to continue to the October meeting.
Okay. NOI 68 Northgate Road, Zach Stone.
Would you mind accepting that continuance with a motion and a second and a vote?
Yes,
Thank you.
certainly. We need a motion.
I make a motion to extend, what is it, 161 Northgate Road?
161 Church Street.
I'm sorry, 161 Church Street. To the next meeting.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by, is that Diane?
Yeah, wait a minute. It's misbehaving.
All in favor? We gotta roll call it. Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
Yes,
Tom Beals,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. So we are continued to October for 161 Church Street. Now we'll go to 68 Northgate Road. Let me bring on Brad Stone. Nope.
Sorry, wrong Stone. We're looking for
Zach
Zach
Stone is
Stone.
not here.
Let's see. He said he'd be at the meeting. We can hold it till later if you'd like.
Yeah, let's just move on. 0 Main Street. That's you, Mia.
It is. Yes. If you want to, I can already share my screen, I think.
Okay.
0 Main
So
Street.
this is the Northborough Trails Committee replacing and widening some boardwalk, bridges, and associated site work.
That's right. All right. I've got a site plan here. Can you see it?
I can.
Okay.
yes.
So this is the parcel behind Algonquin. It's owned by the school district and they've given permission. This is an RDA, so we don't need their signed permission. We can just send them a copy when the determination is issued. But being another town agency, the Trails Committee did seek their permission. And the district was given it and gave us permission to move forward. This is replacement of boardwalk bridges. Some of the boardwalk bridges that back there have become deteriorated. And I believe, yep. So this is Bridge A, Bridge B. They're just getting soft and rickety. C. In D, you can really see up close at the bottom of the page there how the wood is starting to fall apart. And then E, you can see is getting warped. F2. It's hard to get a good picture in the woods, but I'm going to go back to the site plan. These are located along the existing Surpbrook Trail. No new trail is being proposed, and the trail will not be widened.
Okay.
You can see the locations there, A, B, C to the north, and D, E, F closer to the school. This is also part of our new Burrows Loop Trail, so it's important that the maintenance is conducted soon. And then, you know, we think the Trails Committee is going to be doing the work themselves. We have had a Boy Scout troop reach out to say that they would like to assist with their leaders, so it's always nice to have some extra hands. And the last thing is the reason it's before you, this would normally just be trail maintenance. But the reason it's before you is because they want to widen them. Most of these are 30 to 36 inches. They want to widen them to 48 inches to accommodate their mower that they got last year. It's been a really difficult time trying to get the big mower. In fact, I don't think they could even get to some of it because the bridges are too narrow.
So no cutting involved in the widening, or is that just brush?
No, these,
tree?
all of these, I'll show you the pictures. Almost all of them, you can see there's
Yep.
there's no trees next to the footing. And there isn't even a footing. It's just resting.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no tree removal. Maybe some ferns will be injured.
Okay.
And none of it's within the wetland. It's all up. They all span the bank by more than a few feet.
And they would like to get this done before the bad weather sets in.
There's no rush. They may start it where there's 6 bridges. I think they're just going to start what they can. And building supplies are also in high demand. It's hard to get them. So
Okay. All right. Very good. Any questions from the commission? No, Kelly says no.
No,
Nothing there. Tom, you good, Tom? Any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, and I'm fine too, Mia. Then let's go ahead and have a motion on this one. I guess it'll be for a negative determination.
I make a motion for a negative determination for 0 Main Street, Northborough Trails Committee.
Second.
Seconded by, was that Kelly?
yes,
We will roll call vote it.
Greg, did we get public comment?
We didn't, but we will.
Okay. Okay. Before we close it out.
How I get over there. Yeah, see, I can't. Here we go. Hold on a second. Attendees. Are there any public comments on the trail? I'm looking to see if we have any hands being held up. I do not see any hands being held up. Going once, going twice. No public comments.
Thank you.
Okay. So Tom put forward a motion for a negative determination for 0 Main Street, and Kelly seconded that. Voting that, Diane Goldner,
yes,
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Kelly Marston.
Yes.
I also vote yes. So it is unanimous. All set. Thank you, Mia. I believe that, let's see. No, I thought we had Zach Stone here. Unless that is Zach Stone calling in.
I believe he raised his hand.
I
So I
believe
believe
he
that is
raised his
him.
hand. Very good. So I'm going to allow him to talk. Okay, Zach, you are in the meeting. If you could unmute yourself. Perfect. Is that
Can you hear
Zach?
me?
I can hear you. We can hear you.
All right, yeah, my girlfriend's not home. I don't know how to set the computer up to do all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a common problem we all have. I know. Not that's okay. It's all right. All right, super. Well, thanks for joining us, Zach. Zach, this is Greg, and we've got some commissioners here with us, and Mia's here. So I know that Mia, you've been involved in this. Do you want to make the presentation on Zach's behalf, or how's that going to go?
I can pull up the site plan and then we can let Zach just describe. He described a bit what he wanted to do last time, but he can let us know what work he's done so far and what's left. So can you guys see the site plan?
yes.
Okay. So Zach, do you want to tell us what you've been able to get done and what's remaining?
Yeah, so I got all the stuff pulled out that was behind the silt fence that you guys asked me to take out of there. I got all that pulled out. And then I brought in a little bit of loom. I think you guys stopped by the other day. I don't know.
Yeah, we did.
Home,
We
but-
stopped by the other day and just kind of took a walk and back a little bit.
Yep. So basically, I just raked out all that whole backyard and seeded it all. We're on the picture where you see the brown.
Yep.
That's where I brought some loom in. I didn't finish the front yard yet, but I wanted to get the backyard by the brook seeded and grass starting to grow. And then the green is where I'm proposing to put the fence.
Okay.
And then, further down the road, I'm thinking about putting a shed in, but that's like,
Okay. All right. Mia, the silt fence, is that on the 25 or is it further in?
The fence is shown 30 feet away, but with an existing lawn.
The silt fence,
Oh, the silt fence is on the 28.
28, okay, all right. Okay, so if he wants to put a shed in, it'll be outside the 35. It looks like on this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's shown over by the driveway.
Okay. All right. So Zach, what's left to be done?
Just the fence.
The metal fence?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Mia, have you gone and had a chance to take a look at what Zach has taken, how it looks in back there beyond the silt fence?
No, just what you and I visited.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could see pretty clearly that because it was mostly branches and a stump that was
Right.
kind of like the stump was really old. It wasn't recent that were back there, and it looked pretty clean as far as the piles had been removed. And I do want to note that this will be a waiver from your 35-foot no structure that's being requested, but it's also within existing lawn area. So there's really no, there's no additional encroachment and no disturbance to the wetlands. This is a fence within existing lawn area.
Okay. Okay. And the fence will be at what? The fence will be at 28, you say?
30.
30. Okay.
Yep.
All right, fine. Questions from the commission?
Oh, I don't think so.
Tom or Kelly or Diane, anybody have any questions about what's going on here?
No. It
And
looks good.
Zach has been working very closely with me on this one too, so I know we appreciate the cooperation on that.
Okay. I'm just curious, I assume this was a project that got started without a notice of intent and then,
Correct,
okay.
correct.
So we're complete now, essentially.
I think he's pretty well complete, except for installing the fence as outlined in green.
Right, yeah, okay. No, I'm
He's-
good then.
Okay, then we need a motion for the NOI of 30, I'm sorry, of 68 Northgate.
First to close the hearing.
First to close the hearing.
Yes.
Let's double check on public comment before you nail me on that one too, Mia. Hold on a second.
Thank you.
Do we have any public comment here? I'm going through the list of attendees. I don't see any, so I think we're good. A motion to close the hearing.
I make a motion to close the hearing.
Second,
Seconded by Diane. All in favor, let's see, sorry. Roll call vote. Diane Goldner,
yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes,
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
and I also will vote yes. Now we can have a motion for the NOI of 68 Northgate Road.
Are there any special conditions you want to see?
Um,
There's no septic work, so it's even less than our standard boilerplate because I'll be removing all the septic references.
yeah, and he only put in, I mean, partial new lawn there.
Mhm.
do we need to have any maybe signage?
No.
There's a fence. We could say no work beyond the 30-foot, beyond the fence, which will be installed at the 30-foot.
Yep,
That could be an ongoing condition as well.
Like no throwing grass clippings over the fence,
Yeah,
No stockpiling, no activity, no additional work or structures.
and that the shed has to be at least 35 feet.
yes.
Can't be
Yeah.
like in the back corner.
Mia, when he puts the shed in, is he going to have to file again?
No, that would be included in this filing.
Okay,
It's there on the
Alright.
plan. Beyond 30-foot fence.
so Zach,
Okay.
you understand what we're saying here about the shed will have to be at least 35 feet away from the boundary?
Yep.
Okay. And you should not do what you're going to naturally want to do, which is to throw grass clippings over the fence.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay,
And you do approve the waiver of the 35-foot to allow the fence within existing lawn at the 30-foot?
yes.
yes, I think given the fact that's an existing disturbed area already with lawn, so it's not a net new piece.
Okay.
So I think that's probably it, Mia. Not a lot. Like you said, it's a
No.
pretty straight shot here.
Okay.
Okay, now we're ready for a motion for the NOI of 68 Northgate Road.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the NOI for 68 Northgate Road with
Second,
the items
Sec-
discussed.
Seconded by Kelly. Roll call vote. Diane Gouldner,
Yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
yes.
and I also will vote yes. So it is unanimous. Very good, Zach. Thanks for working with us. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Any questions you have, or if any of your neighbors want to do something like that around there, have them call me first.
Yeah, I know. We went neighbor to neighbor when we got the signatures, when we had to give them the notice, and everybody got a little learning curve on this one. So
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Good deal. Thanks, Zach. Good luck with it.
all right, thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks.
Okay, so I'm going to mute him. All right. We are at 30 Maple Lane. And we've got, this is Stephen Riley. Let's see, we've got Stephen Riley on the phone and I don't see Vito. I'm guessing that's Mr. Michael Sullivan. And Ted Gowdy is here. So let me bring these people in. Stephen Riley. Michael Sullivan. Ted Gowdy. I think that's it. Hello, folks. Are you in?
Can you hear me, Mr. Chairman?
I can hear you, Mr. Sullivan. How are you?
I'm well. Yourself?
I'm well, thank you. All things considered. Ted Gowdy, you here?
Yes, I am.
Very good.
Hello.
Hello. And Stephen Riley.
Yep, I'm here.
All right, excellent. Okay, 30 Maple Lane. This is an NOI. And then Mia, this is they were in for an informal discussion, right? That was it, just an informal discussion. This is the first formal filing here.
That's right. This is their NOI. Do you want me to share the plan, or Mike, did you want to share something?
If you want to allow me on, I can try and pull up the plan I've got downloaded. It doesn't matter to me. Is yours colored?
No, mine's
Semi?
black and white.
Well, yeah, if you let me in, let me see if this might help.
Okay. Oh, great. Thank
Here we
you.
go.
Can you see that
All right,
plan?
Yeah, that's a good view for me here. Yep.
Okay, great. Would you like me to begin, Mr. Chairman?
Go for it. You're on. You're on, Michael.
Thank you very much. In terms of introductions, Mike Sullivan, Cornerstone Engineering. Stephen Riley, who's the applicant and the owner of the property. And Ted Gowdy is from the Gowdy Group. He will be actually doing the construction on the property. The site, as you know, is on Maple Lane, just before the intersection where it loops around. And the size of the lot is 33,000 square feet. Topography runs essentially north to south towards the wetland, as you would expect. It's an existing single-family dwelling. And to the south side of the house is an existing single-car garage. The setbacks that you see, let me just see if I can point to them. The 25-foot no disturb is that line. The 35 is the pink, well, it's the pink line, and the 100-foot is in the back of the house that is shown. The proposal is to construct approximately a 24 square garage and also a driveway to accommodate the access. The total increase of impervious surface is under 1,000 square feet. It's 963 square feet. We do need a waiver on this project. There'll be, the garage itself will be outside the 35 feet. However, in order to utilize the existing drive, it has to be extended to, obviously, to the proposed garage, and there'll be 190 square feet, excuse me, within the 25 foot, and there'll be 255 square feet within the 35 foot. So we do need a waiver from the local regulation. In terms of mitigation, if the board or the commission feels it's appropriate, we would plan on doing plantings kind of right in this area between the wetlands and the edge of lawn. All the disturbance that are being proposed currently are within an area that's lawn. So it's not a virgin area, it's already been disturbed. The erosion control is right in here, and that will consist of 12-inch straw wattles and a silt fence. Mia had a comment letter. Mr. Chairman, if you'd prefer, I'd go over it individually, or everybody has the letter. I don't know how you want to handle that. It'll just take me a second if you want me to go over them.
Mia, I've not seen the comment letter.
It's in the Dropbox.
Okay,
It's an
Want me to go over them
email.
quickly, Mr. Chairman?
that sounds fine. How many, are there a lot of points, Michael, or is it?
No, I could do it in a minute.
Okay, fine.
Is that all right?
That's fine. Take your time.
Okay.
You got 5 minutes. How's that? So that's it.
All right. I'll put my auctioneer hat on and go quickly. Provide contours, NAVD 1988. That's been done. Confirm that the project isn't in the FEMA Zone A. We've confirmed that it is not. Provide the method of delineation. Dave Burke flagged it up. He sent a report, and I believe Mia has that at this point. Mia?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I haven't received the field data forms yet, but I have his report.
Okay, we'll get those to you.
Okay.
In terms of the drainage, as you know, the town stormwater, well, it's not a bylaw, but requirement is you can't disturb more than 15% of the lot area. And if you do, you have to mitigate it. There's a calculation sheet that we sent over to Fred. We're well below that. So from the stormwater component, no additional drainage would be needed. Detailed planting plan from a landscape professional. And I had mentioned that earlier. No problem with that in terms of plantings
Hey, Mike.
between a lawn area and the wetlands. 12-inch straw wattles, we've shown that on the plan. The other mitigation measure that I did not indicate was they're going to be removing there's 2 sheds on the property. The one closest to the rear property line is going to be totally removed from the site. And Mia's question was, how's it going to be done? It will be done with relatively small machines, taken off site completely. And the erosion control barrier will be installed prior to any of that work commencing. And then the final 2 was a butter notification and DEP number. And I believe Mia has both of those. And those are the items that Mia had outlined in her memo.
Mia, did you have any question with the delineation of the wetland?
No, I think it's very clear and slope
Yeah.
defined. The
think
BBW
so.
field data form are just a box we have to check off.
Okay,
And David Burks, I agree with his delineation.
all right. Question I have here is on the sheds. On the old shed being removed, that's the one furthest away, right? Toward the backyard.
That's
That
correct, Mr. Chairman.
The new shed. Is that going inside the 25 foot?
It currently is within the 25 feet, which is a disturbed area, but it's not That's existing.
The new shed,
Well, it's, the shed is on site now.
right?
I don't know whether it's new or not, but it's existing.
It is the newer of the two sheds. There are two sheds. One is
Okay,
the older of the two is being removed. The newer of the two is remaining.
okay. But the newer of the two is inside the 25 foot.
That is
Correct.
correct.
Okay. I'm thinking I like that moved outside the 25 foot, Mia.
Let me see if I can find an aerial, because if it might be 20 years old.
Okay.
So, Mr.
when I was
Chairman,
out-
I do have a landscape plan that I'd like to share with you.
Is this
Um,
Mr. Gowdy?
Yes,
Um,
when the time is
Sure.
appropriate.
sure. We want to take a look at that when it's appropriate, so certainly. I mean, when I was out, I've been out there a couple times. I mean, that shed looked like it's fairly new.
It's not in the 2008 aerial photo. It's in the 2014 aerial photo.
Okay. I mean, what's the effort to get that moved outside the 25?
I'd have to do a little investigation to figure out how it's anchored in place. It would not be too difficult.
Okay. Just before we leave that comment, I mean, other commissioners, am I off base on this one? Or if I am, please let me know. But if that, you don't see an issue there. You're muted, Tom.
Sorry. We did run across this on another location where there was a pre-existing shed that was inside of our setback. And we basically, since it was a pre-existing condition, we waived it. And I would say my feeling on it is, since it's pre-existing, if the applicant was willing to agree to move it and it doesn't cause them undue stress, then I think that would be great, but I don't think that's the main issue.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, the landscape plan I have has some existing photos of the site, which may clarify where that shed is located.
Okay,
Relative-
fine.
Okay.
Let's go to the landscape plan.
I know I had emailed it to Mia if she has it and wants to share it, or I can try to share it.
I can share it. I think we have, yep, there we go. Mike's good at this. Can you see it?
I can see it.
Okay. It's up.
Wonderful. I think. Can you scroll up to page 1? I think that's got the existing conditions photos.
Now it's page 2.
There we
we
go.
go. Yep.
All right. So top left photo is looking at the house from the street
Mhm.
and the driveway. Bottom left photo is from the face of the driveway looking back towards the street and the wetland. Top right photo is, more closer to the mailbox. And I think what you'll note here is that they have a line of boulders that separates the lawn area from what I'll call the buffer zone.
Mhm.
And it's that buffer zone that we're proposing to provide mitigation plantings. So, and then the shed in question, the two sheds, are in that middle right photo. So they're both in the lawn area. The front one's in good condition, like to keep it in its place. And then the back one we'd be removing. And then the bottom right photo shows a little more detail. It's taken from, I guess, kind of in between the front shed and that stone wall, which is kind of the buffer line, looking back towards the bad shed or the older shed that's being removed, just to get a sense of the amount of separation and stuff like that.
Okay.
So me, you want to go to page 2? This is the proposed mitigation plan. Again, we're suggesting that the erosion control go alongside that stone border between the lawn and the wetland area. And that's, and to put it there as opposed to further into the site. And then we would propose plantings along that buffer zone and then keep the existing trees. And I'll let the commissioners review the planting plans. I'm not an expert on that, so. And then, I don't know what else to say about this one, since I'm not a landscaper.
I'm just reading the plan here. What's
Okay.
on page 3? Okay.
A little more description of the plans.
I reviewed the plan and they're all facultative or facultative wet plants, except for the hay scented fern. I was wondering if Diane could weigh in on that. I mean, hay scented fern, I think it grows everywhere, even though it's technically an upland plant.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what this, I don't know if you can see my nice thing. It's sort of a green area. It says 12 HF. That's 12 hay scented fern.
Yep.
I think if we can cover it just by requiring a special condition that we get 75% coverage after 2 growing seasons.
I don't think
Okay.
you'd have a problem with that.
Okay. And there's a lot of hay scented fern in the Bartlett Street area. So
Mhm.
Okay.
I would have to just drop in on that.
Okay, any more questions on the planting? On this plan?
No,
No? Mia, can you flip back to what we had before? Well, Mr. Sullivan had that. It was his document that was up.
Yep, be happy to.
Here we go.
Oh,
That's good enough.
Well, starting to,
I did stop because mine's not colored. Mike, could you
You
put
want me,
yours back
you want
up?
me to put mine up again?
Yeah, yours is more clear.
Okay.
Let's see that that causes a problem.
What's that, Diane?
Said I don't see that that shed causes a problem. I just leave it there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It is preconditioned, pre-existing.
It's almost like half and half. So why bother to disturb the area that much more just to take it out? Just leave it.
Yep, okay. All right. And the waiver that's being requested, Mia, this is for, I mean, this is for already disturbed area, right? This is for an existing, it's lawn now.
That's right. It'll go from lawn to driveway. The garage is outside the 35-foot no build. It's just
Well,
for the
it's really,
driveway.
really close in that corner.
It is. It is. But it looks like they're just seeking the waiver for the driveway connecting the existing driveway to the new garage.
Yep, okay. All right. Tom, what are your thoughts?
I think the shed is fine. After seeing the photos and where the rock wall is and everything. I guess, though, we may want to have a little bit of signage in there somewhere, just to remind the owners that it is a wetland. Elsewise, I think we're all set.
Okay. All right. Kelly, any questions on your part?
No, I agree with the shed thing. I think we'd do more damage if we tried to move it. I'd like not to be where it is, but my concern is what would they be storing in it if we're gonna have, gas, and if they have a lawn tractor, we have hydraulic fluid, stuff like that that's stored in there. And is the floor of it in good condition in case there's leaks. It's not leaking into the wetland being that close.
We have an answer for that. I guess that would be Mr. Riley, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the floor on the shed is in good shape. You know, we do store a lawn tractor, lawnmower in there, and we do have gasoline in the shed. But the floor is in good condition. Just recently replaced the ramp on it.
Okay. So I think you know the concern we have there, sir. So if you could, anything you could do to make sure that, you know, there are no leaks, if there are leaks, you address them pretty quickly and so forth. Like
Yeah,
that's what we're looking
absolutely.
for.
Yep, understand that. It's very close to the wetland, so we do try to be mindful of that.
Okay. Diane, anything on your side?
No, everything's fine.
You think the planting plan is sufficient?
Oh, yes. Don't need to worry about anything because they just put in fern. They're going to have fern everywhere.
Okay.
So the gas, is it a 1 gallon can?
It's a 5-gallon can.
Okay.
Yep.
You could condition that, commissioners. You could say like no more than a 5-gallon can of gasoline. You could ask for a secondary containment unit, like a plastic, you know, those with the plastic trays you put under the washing machine.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one. Kelly, what do you think?
Yeah, either that or a not fluid storage area, but you can get like one of those big Tupperware things and
A
put
bin.
gas cans in those. You know, so if it knocks over, then you're not losing fluids. You know, you just put all the fluids in it, or get one of the plastic mats that you park the tractor on. But that's not going to solve the problem with the 5-gallon jugs knocking over.
Some sort of containment device underneath.
We can absolutely do that. Yep.
Great. So I'll call it a secondary impervious storage and a 5-gallon max. Does that sound good? Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Diane, from your side?
No,
Any public comment? Let me see what we have here for attendees. Anybody have any questions on this? Want to make any comments? Just checking the attendee list. I don't see any hands up. Okay. Then I need a motion to close the hearing. Look at that, me, huh? No prompting whatsoever.
I make a
Just
motion
notes.
to close the hearing.
second,
Okay, roll call vote. Diane Gouldner,
yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Tom Beals.
Yes.
I also vote yes. So the hearing is now closed.
Okay,
Thank you very much for your help.
Thank you. For special conditions, so far I have 75% coverage after 2 growing seasons for the mitigation area. We'll put our standard boilerplate in for utilities because there might be electric going in. And then also our standard boilerplate for mitigation and restoration. And then secondary storage of gas, a secondary containment that's impervious with a 5-gallon max. And then there was talk about permanent signs. Did you want to
Yes.
require permanent signs?
I think we could use a sign there.
Okay, I recommend at wetland flag 5.
Could you pop up
I
your
can share
black and
I
white
can share the
drawing?
plan. Yeah.
Wetland flag 5. I see it. That looks like a good location.
Can I add something? I don't know if, can I do that? Can I add something?
Sure.
So you know how they're taking away that shed behind the new shed?
They're taking away the second shed. Yes.
That little nook in the back behind the shed
Yep.
seems like a perfect place to dump clippings. Can we condition that they don't dump clippings there or turn it into
Yep.
like a compost pile?
Yeah, we can add that no clippings will be dumped within the 25-foot area,
Okay.
which will cover that, right?
No stockpiling within 25 feet.
Right.
Okay.
And the planting plan will be attached to the order.
Right. And do we have signs still in inventory, Mia, or?
We do. We sell them. Yep. We have a few left. We bought them for 20, so we sell them for 20. They just say wetlands area, do not disturb, and they're green.
And we're thinking just one on around the flag 5.
Yep. So
Fine.
that sign or similar.
Okay, that seem good to you, Tom?
Yeah,
Okay,
And that's a sign on post.
all right, good. So you got your conditions down?
Okay. Just one sign at flag 5.
I think for me, my side, so I think it's enough for me. I mean, it's not a giant area we're looking at here. We don't want to deluge it with signs every 10 feet.
Yeah. Unless you wanted something less visible, like maybe something behind the sheds.
Do you have a sign they could put on the shed, on the back side of it?
Yeah. Let me show you the sign.
That'll only be seen by various animals and
Right.
people playing around the wetlands.
That's our sign. Not that big.
No, that's the one like they have on Maynard Street, the one house there that's right on the edge of the wetland.
Yeah.
The only thing with that is that if they are low down to the ground, they tend to get buried underneath ferns and stuff.
Hmm.
So we can get it up a little higher.
Well, I think we can probably put on a 3-foot post, something like that, Mia, right?
Yep.
And within the planting area, it shouldn't be too intrusive.
Right.
Okay. Let me see if anybody's still on here. Ted and Steven are still on.
Does Steven have a preference where he might like the sign? I'm not sure. Like if he.
Mr. Riley, any comments on your side?
I'm thinking about it. I mean, I think probably it would be more effective if people saw it. So I
Yep.
would say like facing the road. To describe it by the road, there are some spots where we could put it a post, I think in the area where we're talking about the 75% coverage of the ferns. That's just my thought.
Okay. I mean, part of the reason for these signages historically has been for subsequent ownership.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, what do you think? I'm fine with anywhere along here as long as it's not
Yeah.
buried.
Me too. You know,
Okay.
maybe I shouldn't say at wetland flags 5 in case we, put it in and we're like, wow, this is a really awkward area. We'll see, one sign on post as to be determined in the field by the owner.
And then you sign off on it.
Okay. So one sign on post.
Mr. Riley, what's your timetable here for this?
Well, we were looking to begin it as soon as possible. I think that's going to depend on Mr. Gowdy, honestly, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Certainly, we need to get through the this process and then finalize the plans.
Yep.
Move forward, but
Okay.
yeah, if everything moves forward expeditiously, then we'd start a foundation this fall.
So you probably put the plantings in the spring.
Yeah, certainly.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Mia, why don't we do that then? The sign we'll have but one sign in there, and that's going to be based on agreement between the Mr. Riley, Mr. Gowdy, and yourself.
Sounds good.
Fair enough. Okay. That's a list of our requirements.
Yes.
Okay. Then we need a motion for the NOI for 30 Maple Lane. Tom's on mute. I'm sorry, Diane, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I move that we give them an notice and, what am I trying to say tonight?
I don't know.
Issue
I
an
think-
order. You're going to issue an order.
Oh, thank you. Issue an
right?
order for Maple Lane, containing all the comments that we made about where things are supposed to go, and the shed coming out, and leaving the other one, and the signage.
Second.
Okay. Seconded by Kelly. Roll call vote. Diane Gouldner,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. It's unanimous. Okay. Thank you, folks, for coming. Thank you for working with us, Mr. Gotti and Mr. Riley, Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, thank you for your time.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Good luck.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The extended for the order of conditions for 4943 King Street. That's what I've got
Oh.
next, Mia.
Mr. Rashid would like to come and speak with you. It's his son's birthday, so he asked me for an estimated time, and I said around 7:30. So if he's not here, it's my fault. So if we wouldn't mind pushing that one off a little.
Okay.
Rashid Sheikh
Okay.
is going to come and speak.
Well, let's go through this for the COC requests, and then we move in formal discussions and see where we are. Okay,
Yes.
so we've got 150 Hayes, 92 Whitney, and 78 Maple.
Okay. I don't see anyone here for 150 Hayes. Oh, David Robinson and Scott Weiss. Sorry, I was looking at the panelists.
All right, let me bring them in. Scott Weiss and David Robinson. Okay, they're both in.
Good evening.
Good
Are
evening.
you able to hear me?
I can hear. Was that Scott?
This is Scott Weiss. Yes.
I can hear you.
David, are you on too?
Yes, I am.
He's unmuted.
Oh, excellent. We're both here. I just heard David. So,
All right.
thank you very much. We will be very brief. The project at 150 Hayes has been complete actually for some time, and we've given it time to grow in through the spring and summer this year. It's very well established. Hopefully you guys had a chance to go out and look at it. We're looking to close it out. And if you have any detailed questions, myself and David are here at your pleasure.
Very good. Very good. No, Mia and I took a look at it this past week. It is well grown. It looks like it's taken very, very well. So you agree, Mia? But you're muted.
There, I do agree. And Greg, I had said I was going to take a ride out today
Yep.
and walk those two areas.
In back.
Yeah, and the two corners in the back. And I did. And I even have photos. It's all completely established and settled.
Great.
So,
Great. Let's take a quick look at the photos.
okay. I accidentally included them from another site. So hang on one second. There we go. And now I will screen share.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. There's the building to the left and one of the basins to the right. This is the road around the basin. This is that corner where there was like an issue right when they were constructing the basin. It's fully vegetated and clean. Looks great. A little blurry, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty well taken.
Yeah. If this is the 4-bay.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it. I mean, it's in really great condition. It's functioning very well. This is the parking area. Back to the right here over this hump. So there's actually a rise, and then it goes down along the back to Stirrup Brook. And then this is the rear part in the back of the parking lot that you and I didn't get to see. And this corner up to the upper right of the picture is where there was a problem during construction. But you can see it's fine. There's the fence. There's a sign.
Mm-hmm.
They have these signs all along the conservation restriction area. And you see the double row of bales because that's where they were trying to shore up one part.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fully stabilized, grown, and it's looked like this for months.
Good. Good. Any questions from the commission?
No.
Scott, I will say that when we were out there recently, Mia, it brought back memories that when we went and did the site walk, and this is in my mind, the worst site walk I've been on since my time at the commission. It was, if you remember, it was a hot, humid August or July day. Everything was up to our chest. We're hacking our way through.
It was thick. It was thick out there. Yeah. That's not an area that I'm usually walking through either. It's usually got a little bit more openings that you can pick your way, but there was, yeah, if
this
we
was,
didn't have you know, a little bit of clearing and some gloves and other stuff.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
we would have been lost out there.
It was Lewis and Clark time. It was unbelievable. And we're hacking our way through. We come to the top of this rise, and what's sitting there but a television set? It's very bizarre. Very bizarre. I don't know. But, anyway, good. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, if there's no questions, then check the attendee list. We're good there. I need a motion.
Okay. Make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 150 Hayes Memorial Drive.
Second,
Seconded by Diane. Roll call vote. Diane Goldner,
yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Tom Hay, Tom Beals,
Yes.
and I also will vote yes. Done.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, folks. Whitney Street, Mia, 92.
I have pictures of this one too, if you want it. It's a single family house, was broken into 2 lots, and the lot to the right contained wetlands within it's buffer zone only work. The site's been fully stabilized for some time. I think it was May, or it was like April or May, that I went out and they had asked for permission to remove the erosion controls, and the site was completely stabilized. And so I let them remove the erosion controls, and it was constructed as permitted.
Okay,
Let me see.
so you're good. Any
Oh.
questions from the commission? None?
No.
Do we need a motion for 92 Whitney Street?
Move that we issue an order of conditions or certificate of compliance for 92 Whitney Street.
Second.
Seconded by Kelly. Roll call vote. Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Tom Beals.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Good. 90 West Main's not ready, Mia, right?
They are not. And they said they're going to come in with an NOI. The original order included some replication work. There was some alteration replication. They hired someone to determine that the replication, in their opinion, had not been completed. So they're going to be submitting an NOI to do the replication work. So
Is
that's
this the
forthcoming.
greenhouse that's for sale?
It's blue. It's a little blue house with a little blue garage right next to the bank.
Oh, okay.
So they do have a buyer. It's moving forward.
Okay. All right, well, they'll come back. And the same with 407 Whitney Street, right? That's also.
Yeah, we need an as-built.
For that. Okay. So 78 Maple.
Okay, so this one, they came in a few months ago and they applied for certificate of compliance. So what happened is they took out, let me get you the numbers. I don't have them up. 1 second. They took out DEP 247870 for a combined driveway. The process took way too long. They had an order for it. The order expired. No work was completed. So then they took up the project again, but since the order had expired, they filed a new order of conditions, and that's like 247946, I think. And the work was completed under that. They actually came in this past spring and they got their certificate of compliance for the newer one. And we issued it. We did the inspection. We found it was constructed as approved. But then when they went to sell the house just this month, during the title search, this old expired order came up. So this would be an issuing a certificate of compliance where the work was never completed. The work was completed successfully under another one.
Under a different.
Yeah.
This is
So
really
this one just-
administrative.
Yes, this is administrative. It's
activity,
just lapsed, and we do, all of our T's are crossed and I's are dotted because we had the open order and the certificate of compliance for the newer one.
All right, fair enough. Any questions? No questions. We need a motion.
I motion we close it. Or order it or something.
motion for-
Issue the certificate of
Certificate
compliance.
of compliance.
The 78 Maple.
Yes.
Okay,
Second,
seconded by Diane. Roll call vote. Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Diane Goldner,
yes.
Tom Beals.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Done. Okay. We're at 7 o'clock. I don't see anybody else there. So I guess we'll go to informal, Mia, and then just hope that Rashid gets here at 7:30.
Okay. If we could skip the Mount Pisgah, because I think we do have Brad Stone and Brian. Brad Stone is here for 0 West Main Street. Brian is here for 8595 West, and Dan LaFrance is here for Westboro State Hospital.
Great, great.
They wanted to rent a
Do we want to come back to Pisgah or just skip it until next month?
No, we can come back if you'd like, give you an update.
Okay. Seems like most items are in town council's hands anyway. But
We did hear something. We can go over that later.
okay, all right.
How much time to process it?
Let's go to 0. I'm sorry, Kelly.
Just as a heads up, I have to pick Hannah up from dance at 7:45, so I have to leave at like 7:40.
Okay,
Right.
I know I'm needed.
Yeah, for the extension.
okay.
I'll send Rashid an email and see if he
Yeah,
can
send him a
come
note
on
and
a
see if
little
he can get
earlier.
here. Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, Kelly. Okay. 0 Main Street, and that is going to be, that's Mia.
Can you also promote Brad Stone? He's the conservation agent for the town of
I
Shrewsbury.
sure can.
And I'll see if I can get those photos up.
Okay. Brad has been promoted and he is off mute. You with us, Brad?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. Thank you for attending.
So
Okay.
this, Brad, do you want to summarize or do you want me to say something?
Sure, if you'd like to present, Mir, I'll be here to answer any questions if needed.
Sure. So, so this was reported to Fred Litchfield, the town engineer, some possible dumping in the riverfront area. And so we were just given an address and a driveway. So we went out to visit and, when we looked at the parcel, this is actually a parcel where the driveway is in Shrewsbury and the parcel itself is in Northborough, and it's owned by the town of Shrewsbury and used by the Shrewsbury DPW. It's been historically used for decades as a contractor yard and it is within the riverfront area. Brad met me on the site and we found that they had a water project, a water main down the street where the contractor was bringing materials, road sub base, and he had extended a little bit beyond the historical footprint. And so Brad worked with their DPW and the contractor to pull that back, get the site back into the historical footprint and remove any possibility of future encroachment by building a berm. So I can share the photos.
So this piece of property is located right next to Ward Hill, pretty much.
Mhm.
Just before, same side.
See if I can find
Okay,
that one's kind of a good one. Can you see there?
yes.
So you see they're just bringing in loam and sub base from projects. They store them on there temporarily. They come and go as needed. It's been a historical use in all our aerial photos. Is it back to the 80s, Brad?
It's at least that far back. We have some employees that have been with the town for more than 30 years that have used it their entire career.
And so you can see they built a berm along the back to prevent any future encroachment. There was a little bit of bituminous mixed in. Let me see if I can show you that we were concerned about. You can see there by Greg's car. That has been pulled out and stockpiled, and that's going to be removed from the site. They also installed, there was a gate, but now they sort of freshened it up and they're locking it on a regular basis. So there won't be any illegal dumping.
And,
Any
and
questions?
Mia, how far, Mia and Brad, I guess, either one can answer. How far from two questions, I guess. How far from the back there is it to the brook, number one, from the back of the berm? And number two, did anything make it as far as the brook?
No, nothing made it near the brook. I would say it's
Okay.
70 to 80 feet to the
Okay.
brook, possibly 100. Let me see if I can get something from the town GIS so you can see what that looks like. All right, I'll share this screen with you. Okay, can you see the parcel there?
Yes.
Okay. Is that their correct parcel? Yeah, I think so. Let me make sure. Yep, Town of Shrewsbury. And then I'll go to the Google there. There's a stream further up. And that's kind of hard to see. Can you see my cursor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the stream back here.
Okay.
And that's Hop Brook.
And the area that you were looking at from the photographs before is that gray area at the end of the road there.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, that's showing it quite a far away. There is wetlands around here because when we were standing there, we didn't climb back there because it kind of drops off. It's a little unsafe to get back that way, but it looked to be 80 to 100 feet before the drop off. And I think the drop off, maybe we can see on a topo. Yep, there's a drop off right here. And then it slopes down to the stream.
All right.
Oh, it goes up. I'm looking at it the wrong way.
So Mia, informal discussion.
Yes. So there was a violation reported and we issued a violation email, just like, hey, this was reported to us. Can you meet us on site and address it? And it was addressed. So I consider it fully resolved. Just reporting it to you and seeing if you want any additional action.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they've taken steps to prevent any further issues, and they cleaned up or are in the process of cleaning up what was there.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no issues. Any other commissioners have questions or comments or concerns?
No. It's
No,
never,
Tom, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I guess, I mean, I don't know if, the town of Shrewsbury would maybe want to just put a couple of signs up to not extend their storage area out any further.
Okay.
Brad, is that
something?
something? Go ahead.
I actually drove up there in the spring and looked around, and this looks like there's substantially more material there than was there earlier. But I think, if the town of Shrewsbury can just maybe, put a couple of limit signs up as to so somebody doesn't keep pushing it over the bank. And I know the berms are there, but that doesn't mean that the next construction company that comes in doesn't push it out and keep going.
Mm-hmm. Brad, what do you think?
I can talk to our DPW director about doing something like that, sure.
We were talking about 2 or 3 or 4 signs around the perimeter, Tom, just that pretty much says, don't go past this point, or
Yeah, they could be, just plywood, prop up signs or tripod type signs. It's not something that has to be, anything fancy.
okay. Okay. So you could work with Brad on that one.
Yes.
All right. So basically, it's an informal discussion. No reason to take votes on anything. We're just talking about a few items here. We're not going to move ahead further with the violation items. It's been addressed with a request for some signage.
Okay.
All right.
Is that the consensus of the commission? The commission's requesting signage, but considers the violation resolved.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Thanks, Brad. Thanks for your cooperation. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Haven't seen Rashid yet. Did you send him a text, Mia?
I sent him an email.
Okay. Well, we can go to 8595 West Street or the State Hospital. Do we have a preference here?
It's up to you.
Okay, let's go to 8595 West Street, but just so folks know, that would be Michelle and Brian. If the applicant Rashid shows up, I'm going to have to jump to him so we can get that vote in. So, all right, let's promote these folks in. Is Michelle muted, unmuted, and Brian is unmuted.
Good evening. Can you hear us?
We can hear you.
All right. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm thank. How are you, Brian?
Good. Not too bad.
Hanging in there, right?
Yes. Yeah, day to day.
Good deal. Michelle, you with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear. So you're aware that if Rashid comes in, we're going to have to quickly move over to him just to cover him
Sure.
for the hearing. So,
Yeah, we understand.
okay. All right. You folks were here last month.
Correct.
And I believe Kelly was here. I think, Tom, you were gone last month. You didn't see this. I don't believe.
No, I don't believe Tom was available then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was not at the last meeting.
That's okay.
So Brian and Michelle, why don't you bring us back to what this is all about and let us know what you're thinking about.
Right. I think last time this discussion started with the town back in the spring on determining possibly some common drives or single family drives to the property, the 17 acres with frontage on West Street. And one of the plans that came out of that, Mia, I don't know if you have you could call up the plan.
Here we go.
Yeah, that one. That's the first one. Excellent job, Mia.
Thanks.
One of the plans that came out of the discussions with the planning board and the town planner was go to a 22-foot wide common drive, which you can access 5 lots. So that plan you see in front of you, I believe Mia did take a look at in the second go around sometime back in June, I believe, after the planning board had us do this layout. And then in the meeting we had last month, we'd come in with, I think we had 5 separate single drives. And the commission had asked that we come back with options to reduce those drives to 1 common drive. So what we have here is the one that was discussed with the planning board in June. You can see the existing house there to the the southwest. We've taken out the black cross hatching there. That's the existing driveway, which runs directly adjacent to the wetlands. So we've proposed to take that out. Keep the new common drive 35 feet off the wetland to the southwest. And then we had proposed a single family drive, a 12-foot drive to the north, that lot 1. So this results in, excuse me, 6 total lots. The common driveway serving, excuse me, the 3 back lots, and then the existing house and the 1 frontage lot by the pond, and then 1 single family drive to lot 1. And then the commission had also asked that we show some other alternatives. So Mia, if you could switch to the next page.
Sorry, I think Rashid is here.
Okay.
Do you mind pausing? Is that it's up to you, Greg?
No, let's do that. Let's pause it and talk with Rashid, and then we'll come back.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Rashid, I'm going to bring you on to the meeting. And I'm going to, okay. Okay, Rashid, you are a panelist. Very good. Rashid, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for cutting your birthday party short and coming here. So
No, no, thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt the meeting.
no, it's fine. We wanted to. One of our commissioners has got to leave, and we're very thin tonight. So we wanted to make sure we could get this voted on while we had a quorum.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so 3943 King Street. It's been a while since we talked about this, but I think everybody's familiar with this. Kelly, you familiar with 3943 King? You are, okay. So Rashid, what's going on?
Well, thank you so much for giving me opportunity. I'll be very quick. 3943 King Street, we got it approved for assisted living 2 years ago. And, we went through the Conservation Commission for the approval as well. And I honestly couldn't believe that it took that long to, some of the residents may be thinking what's going on, nothing really happened. But I can tell you that we have been working diligently first with Mass DOT and now with the town. Unfortunately, due to COVID, things are delayed. But even before COVID, this is kind of very lengthy process to get this driveway approved. So, just giving you a quick background that when we went to the zoning board, a lot of neighbors came in and they were asking if we could really, because we also own 38 King Street across the street, and they were asking if we could build this driveway through 38 King Street that will connect to King Street from Route 20, and that will give them a much better access as compared to the current access to Route 20, which is very dangerous. We went to Mass DOT, they also loved the idea, and they approved it, but they said then, town has to make the small portion of King Street one way from 43 King Street to the Route 20. And so then we came up with a two-step process where first we make the driveway, and then once the driveway is built, then the town will go to the town meeting to get approved the one-way portion of that, King Street, the small portion. But we had to sign an MOU with the town. We have agreed to all the conditions town has put forward, which were a lot of conditions, and we're giving this land without any swap. But unfortunately, it's taking time to the town. And I believe now we are at a process where, all the town departments agreed with the language, and that they have sent now, in my opinion, to the town council. It will come back from the town council, and hopefully we'll get to the Board of Selectmen, and they will agree to that memorandum of understanding. Unfortunately, it has taken very long time. So we went to the ZBA because our permit would have expired if we had not gone to ZBA. We went back to the ZBA and they granted us another 2-year extension because they give only 2-year extension at a time. So we believe that at this point, we need an extension from the Conservation Commission as well to keep our process going, and hopefully as quickly as we can get this, get to the work. So we hereby request the grant of the extension of the Conservation Commission, because we have all intentions to build as soon as we get the permits.
When did the ZBA give you their extension?
That was almost a year ago.
Okay. Has anything changed from your discussions with other boards since we gave you an order of condition?
Nothing.
So nothing's changed at all here, Mia, from
That's
what's
right.
there. We're just looking for more time.
Yep, just a few administrative things is the order expired in June, but because of COVID and the congressional order,
Right.
it's still good because we're still in the state of emergency. And so he's definitely within the time limits. We just should note that in our record. And also that I was checking, I know we only give 1-year extensions. Northborough Concom, according to the local bylaw, only gives 1-year extensions. So he did request a 3. So I looked into it, and the section in your regulations reads that any project that has started can only request a 1 year. So you could read that because it hasn't started, you could issue a 3-year, or maybe you consider it that it's been issued, you can only issue a 1-year. I think in the past, if I remember correctly, maybe Tom and Diane, you could comment on this too. In the past, when someone goes through the 3 years, you want to start seeing them manually, is what I've heard from you in the past, so that, you know, usually you issue a 1-year and you just say, see you in a year, we want an update.
Well, the ZBA only has 1 more year to go on their last extension.
No, 2 more years, because they gave me 2-year extension about a year ago.
A year ago, right? So you're already a
At
year
that
into
time-
that first one.
No, that time I still had a year left in the first one. So,
Oh, okay. Okay, so they gave
the
you 2 on
reason-
top of that. Okay.
sorry, the reason they gave me 2 year, because they realize how slow the process is and how long, honestly, I'm paying taxes, not really doing anything, because I'm just waiting for the towns to approve it. So
Okay.
honestly, I mean, I don't envision that this is going to happen. It may take another, I mean, the town meeting only happened once a year.
Right.
And,
right.
and we just had the town meeting. So I don't really see that I'm getting anything for almost a year. And then I have to secure my, finances and all those things.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I would humbly request, otherwise I will be in front of you again.
Right. Okay. The commission have any thoughts on this one? Tom? Going 3 versus 1?
I believe Mia is correct that we generally just stuck to the 1 year. But I don't think there's any reason that we couldn't do a 2 or 3 year extension.
Okay. Kelly?
I mean, I think it sounds like the way the progress is going, that at least a 2-year extension would be reasonable. And then if he's not completed, he would be back in front of us to give us an update.
Right. Okay. Kelly, you want to say something?
No, I just feel the same thing. If ZBA gave him 2, I'd
Right.
be comfortable doing 2. 3's a
we-
little long.
So we might line up with them close if we do a 2-year one.
Yeah.
Matt. Diane, you okay with a couple years?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I guess we do we have to close this hearing, Mia, too?
No, you just have to vote to issue. I mean, you might want to take public comment, but
Okay.
you just, vote. You just make a motion. One makes a motion.
Let's see if
So
there are-
Rashid, just so you know that they've received your request for 3. They normally give 1, and right now they're considering 2. They're kind of meeting in the middle.
Oh, I appreciate that. The reason ZBA gave 2 is because they only have 2 year at a time.
Yep.
In Shrewsbury, we do Conservation Commission 3 year at a time. Every town is different, but whatever you please is, I mean, the situation is in front of you. I have no problem coming back in 2 years. And if needed, I could amend my request, whatever the board desire.
Okay. Any public comments on this? I don't see any. Okay. All right. So I think we're talking 2 years. Unless anybody thinks differently. We need a motion then for a 2-year extension for 39 and 43 King Street.
I so
Thanks.
move.
Go ahead,
Second.
Diane. Okay. All right. Diane proposed it. Tom seconded. We will roll call vote. Kelly Marston,
Yep, yes.
Diane Gouldner,
Yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
and I also will vote yes.
Very much.
So 2-year extension, Rashid, extension. I hope that I hope that the things pick up speed for you.
That I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay. And happy birthday to your son.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I thank all board, and especially, I think Mia really honestly is an angel. So thank you. It's the first time I'm dealing with you. If I had this kind of dealing with everybody, I wouldn't be asking any extensions.
You
Oh,
go.
thank
There
you.
you go. There you go. Thanks, Rashid. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So we're back to We're back to I'm sorry, no, we're back to West Street.
Yep,
Okay, thanks for Michelle and Brian. Thanks for bearing with us, and I appreciate
no
it.
problem. I think May is great too. Can you approve this?
Thanks, Brian.
Now you're skid greasing here.
Never. Mia, could you go to the next plan? Okay, yeah, this one. So this one was the one that was discussed at the last meeting, was do a common drive, which you can do to a maximum of 5 lots in Northborough, which you have to, when you do more than 2, you have to go to 22-foot pavement width. So that's what you have there. This would do a new driveway to the existing house and remove all that pavement of the existing drive that runs along the edge of the wetland in that area. So there'd be a benefit, and that area be restored vegetatively. This removes a lot from the proposed development. And I'll get into why that's not desirable in a minute. But this was the one, the only buffer zone work here would be probably the first 300 or 400 feet of the drive coming in, and then everything else is out of the buffer zone. Except for obviously removing the existing pavement, but that obviously would be a net benefit to that adjacent wetland. And Mia, if you could go to the last page, please. Okay, and this was just the alternative. I think, Greg, you had said, well, let's see all the alternatives if it's a common drive. So this one would be coming to the north, obviously be a waiver to that wetland finger there. This would serve 5 lots off the common drive, and then the existing house lot would stay as its own separate lot. The existing driveway that's there now, it's been there for, I don't know, 50 years or whatever, would stay. So this would end up in 6 lot. Obviously, this is not the most desirable from, access and creation there, other than getting the 6 lots. But Mia, could you go back to the first plan, please? I'm sorry to be a pain. I know Kelly's got to get going, so I'll try to rifle through this. So the town, this would be the most desirable plan with one waiver. That'd be 35 feet to 30 feet on that single family driveway for lot 1. This would still remove the pavement by the existing house and create a new driveway. So that'd serve the 5 lots. And we showed the driveway dropping up in the middle of the site down to lot 3 to take it away from the wetland as well. The town, the reason we're shooting for 6 lots, the town has a regulation that if you're within, hang on, my dog is scratching. Hey, stop. Sorry. If you're within 2,000 feet of an existing water line, you have to pay to extend it. And the water line is approximately 1,600 feet down to the northeast in West Street. So if you do a common drive, 2 lots, even 2 to 2 lots, you have to extend the water line if you're within 2,000 feet. Rough cost estimate right now to extend that water line is $600,000. So losing a lot would be detrimental. This plan in front of you has the one single family drive that would need a waiver from 35 to 30. Still removes the pavement and keeps the common drive 35 feet minimum from the undisturbed wetland to the southeast, and removes that pavement that's adjacent to the wetland there. That's the existing drive. And again, 80% of the frontage along West Street has a wetland, and all 3 of these proposals have no wetland alteration proposed under any of the proposals, with a net benefit of removing the pavement and having the one waiver request from 35 to 30 for lot 1. So we were just looking for your feedback, and then we'll try to plan on preparing a official filing and get a notice of intent in front of you. The wetlands is still good until that's been confirmed via the ORAD. That's good till August of next year.
So Brian, the only waivers you'd be looking for would be on this plan in lot 1.
Yeah, from 35 to 30 feet, correct.
But the other 2 plans have no waivers. Is that true?
Nope. If Mia, if you can hop to plan. This one would have no waiver, I guess. Yeah, right. No waiver on this one. And if you can hop to plan 3, that would require a waiver to that wetland finger on lot 1.
Yeah, okay. Okay. How close are you coming on lot 1 under this plan? I'm sorry, to that finger.
To that finger, I believe you're about 8 feet. On this one, you're, 8 feet for there. And obviously with that bigger road, you probably have to do a retaining wall right there to protect the finger.
Yeah.
Because that's a 22 width pavement. If you go to the first option, Mia, please. That you have 30 feet, and that's only a 12-foot paved drive. So that won't be easy.
Brian, can I ask you a quick question before I have to hop off?
Sure, Kelly.
So one, thank you. This is such a wonderful change from what you did before.
I know we were trying to respond to some of the other comments from the other boards, and they were like, "Yeah, do 5 single driveways." So I know it's trying to.
I was a pain in the butt with you for the last couple of times you've been here. So my one question, aside from needing an easement to go across lot 2, what would keep you from doing a driveway from the roundabout to lot 1 on this plan?
Oh, because we can only do 5. You can only do 5 houses, 5 drives off a common drive. That's the max. I guess the option would be if we kept the existing driveway on the existing house.
Yeah.
Then yes, potentially we could do that. You could drop a driveway down to lot 1, avoid that finger, and just keep the existing driveway that's been there forever. And then, we might, the one, that was an idea I had. And the only thing, we probably have to shift the 22-foot wide drive a little closer to that southeast wetland, just to give some separation between the existing driveway entrance and the common driveway entrance. But it is doable, but you'd have to grant us a waiver. So we'd still be at 1 waiver.
What would that waiver be, Brian?
The 22-foot wide common drive, Greg, would shift to the southeast. Here where we have it says 35 to wet.
Yep.
That would probably go to 25, just to give a little separation between the common drive and that guy's existing driveway. But then that would be it. That'd be the only buffer zone work in 1 waiver, because only the first 300 feet is in the buffer zone.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but is the
Sorry,
wetland?
Michelle, I don't know what happened to you. I want to bring you in here.
Oh,
Kelly, were you gonna finish? Oh,
I didn't know, the wetland, I guess it's not the northern wetland, from what I've seen, it seems like it's more active and more full of life than
What
this.
the finger
are
is?
you talking about the one by lot 1 and 3, near the pond,
Yeah.
the finger?
The one near lot 1 seems like a higher quality wetland than the one near lot.
Yeah, the area around the pond generally is the finger, the upper edge of the finger. I know Mia's seen it, is a really stony seep.
Yeah.
It gets higher quality as you get down near the pond. That's correct.
Okay.
The
And
highest quality wetland is probably that central wetland down towards the edge of West Street. That has some potential vernal pool area in it.
And Kelly, this wetland down here at the corner of Cherry and West, that's really a wet meadow, Brian, right?
Right. It actually, if you look way back on plans, it looks like it was a farmer's pond. And then they either changed the outlet or just let it fill in over the years, and now you're correct, Greg, it's become a wet meadow. It had been mowed historically. So it's not like it's undisturbed, it's just, so yeah, if we could get a waiver to that and then not do a driveway by lot 1, I think I agree with Kelly, that would be the most desirable.
Michelle, you're back as a panelist. You got dropped somehow. I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah, so I just wanted to comment about, the cost is extremely significant to the sellers, and they understand that this is what's being requested of the town, but they wanted to have the ability to at least sell one lot or possibly two to help start the process of, getting the drain layer and getting the water down and actually building that common driveway, which are all very significant costs. So we didn't want to just have them all come off of one driveway. We were hoping that either the house could stand alone and sell that, and that would be one sale, or the house would stand alone, sell that, and then lot 1. But we were thinking about options where the seller could sell off and then start to do this infrastructure work, which would then help buyers be able to, choose their lots, for 3, 4, and 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
And we may still have, Greg, and I think as Kelly pointed out, maybe, a driveway easement. So as Michelle pointed out, trying to get, and I think the owner's daughter lives in the house currently, but if we could do the separation between the common drive, shift that a little bit to the southeast, and then set up the easement, I think, Michelle, we could set it so that that house can move forward as a sale, and we have to create that driveway easement for the common drive. And whoever, buys that understands there'll be, a common drive through an easement on that lot.
And Brian, lot 6, the existing house is going to stay intact. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Kelly, any comments? Well, I know you got to take off here very soon.
No, that was really it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Super. Thanks. Thanks. Kelly, we'll see you in October.
Don't say that. It doesn't sound right, Greg.
I know it. I know it.
35 degrees out.
There you go. Tom, what are your thoughts?
I'm kind of thinking that as it's proposed with the single driveway for lot 1, and keeping the distance, keeping a 35-foot on the main driveway coming in is probably the best option. And lot 1 having its own separate driveway with, we got to make one exception there. That would let them develop a lot and be able to sell it whenever they would like.
Yeah.
The one other benefit there, Tom, would be removing that pavement, all the pavement for the existing house adjacent that's so close to that wetland.
Correct. I like that driveway coming out, actually. I think that's a great improvement.
Brian, how close is that
You still have a
current?
30-foot setback to the driveway on lot 1.
Brian, how close is that current driveway to the wetland?
Down by the street there, it's 4 feet, Greg.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like it may be going out to, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 moving out.
It goes from about 4 to, and then up at the other end near the house, it's within 3 or 4 feet as well. But, it's 10 to 20 in spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, taking that out and restoring that area, which is adjacent to the area that could be a potential vernal pool, you get rid of all that, and we have one driveway up near a low quality upper end of a finger and still maintain a 30-foot offset from that.
Right. Right.
That's why we thought this was more desirable, but
Yeah, I like this proposal. myself.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with, doing a waiver for that short piece of driveway by the finger.
Yeah. Yeah, then this allows us to maintain the 35-foot setback to the southeast wetland, remove the
Correct.
pavement adjacent to the wetland, and have the single driveway, which that abutter had commented that, she wouldn't want a common drive in there, but she knew, a single drive, it'd be in the woods there anyway, but. So, and again, out of 80% of the frontage that has wetlands along this whole frontage, we coming in, with no alteration and with an improvement of removing that pavement near the high quality wetland.
Yep. Diane, what's your 2 cents here? Or 4 cents, maybe?
Not 5 cents?
Well, maybe. She's a nickel short sometimes. So.
Mentally, I was trying to see if there are other alternatives, but this seems to be the best of what you have proposed out of the
The
three.
one we're looking at right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I throw in one more thing, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
There was discussion, or we had looked at the option, if you see Cherry Street off to the left.
Yep.
Of extending the common drive straight through to Cherry Street, and avoiding that wetland finger. But that would take trying to acquire property or an easement from 2 abutters. And then it got squashed because when you do a common drive, it has to come off your frontage street. So I just wanted to point that out there, that we've looked at just about every option that's humanly possible on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I actually like both the ideas, this one and also the Kelly's comment. But I think if we've got to put if a waiver's got to go into place, I think it's probably better to have it happen in lot 1 versus down by that wet meadow vernal pool area. So
That's kind of what our thought was, but.
Yeah. Mia, what do you think?
I think what you're discussing sounds, you've only granted 2 waivers, and those were earlier tonight. One was existing lawn area, so this doesn't match up with that. The other was 30 Maple, where you lost a little bit of your offset, but you gained a mitigation area. And I think that's what we're looking at here. So you're starting to set a precedent that if you grant a waiver, you want to see an improvement on the site, and you're going to see that improvement with the removal of the existing drive near the high quality wetland.
Yep.
Correct.
Good. Okay. All right. Any more comments by the commission?
Not for me.
No. Brian and Michelle, any questions you have for us?
No, that's great. This is very beneficial. I'm glad we got to do it.
We appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, no worries. We'd much rather have any sort of issues dealt with earlier versus later, if at all possible.
I would like to recommend that when you say remove and restore, that a lawn wouldn't be the best restoration.
No, we'll do a planting plan for that. It'll be
Okay.
It'll be shrubs, trees, some kind of a conservation mix there.
Great, thank you.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you
So
all.
you've got some input from 4 of the 7 commissioners. 2 of the commissioners not here tonight, I'm sure have their own opinions.
Yeah.
And we have a new one joining us for October who will be able to deal with this from day 1, because informal discussions don't really count against that. So
Right. Yeah. It'll be a formal formal filing.
Yeah.
So excellent. Thank you very much.
cool. No, thanks for coming back in the work. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
So I'm just, took care of it themselves. Very good. Experienced Zoom participants. All right. 89 West, Westboro State Hospital is next. And that is that Dan LaFrance?
Dan LaFrance.
Hey, Dan, I'm going to promote you in. You are now a panelist. Hi, Dan, you're muted. You are
Hi, can you hear me?
unmuted. Say it again.
You're able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you guys for taking the time. Would you like me to share my own screen, or Mia, would you like to share the screen? I'll share mine.
Yes, please share yours.
So, yeah, so my name is Dan LaFrance. I'm an environmental project manager for a company called Fuss & O'Neill, and we are working with Commonwealth, DCAM, on a demolition project upcoming at Westboro State Hospital. There's one portion of the campus, by and large, in Northborough, just north of the town boundary with Westboro, and generally to the east of Lyman Street, right on the town line. So this is a couple-year-old aerial photo of it, but it shows in fairly high relief. There's the power plant, and a single-story concrete block building right along Lyman Street down here. There's this whole cluster of buildings, and then there are, there's one major structure. This is called Chauncey Hall, that's visible from the street.
Yep.
And then a couple of barns out in the back, and a series of like sewer pump stations that went to the historic sewer beds were located right here. They've since been disconnected, but the pump houses remain. And so DCAM's objective is that, a lot of these buildings are significantly, decades out of service, have not been maintained all that well. Some of them are starting to fall apart. This particular building down here, the block building that I mentioned on the way in, is the roof is starting to collapse, and there are some structural concerns associated with it. And so DCAM's objective is that we're going to take down these few buildings and pull anything out of the wetlands or wetland setbacks that we're able to do. And in the process, up in this area particularly, there's a parking lot over here, a basketball court over here that's near the 100-foot boundary. This one is within a 100-foot buffer zone. These buildings are within the buffer zone as well. There's some wetlands associated with the northern part of this field, and there's a stream that kind of wraps around these fields as well, ties into this system. This pole barn, that's the term that they're using for these buildings, is entirely within, or mostly within, a 100-foot setback. And so the ultimate objective here is to, get these things down out of the way and cleaned up. And the reason I'm coming before you now is, my intent is to formally submit next month, but I wanted to talk about what is, the right way to approach this project, generally get a reaction from you about, the things that you would be looking to condition it with, what you'd like me to come in, having already thought about, if that's at all possible.
And did you say the power plant also is on scope here?
The power plant is on scope, yes. So that's this building here. Yeah, and actually to show kind of the whole area, every building in here, and so one of these buildings spans the town line, but it's outside of any of the setbacks. But it will be part of this project. And then there is also some work to be done in Westboro as well. I'll be going before them separately. But basically every structure in here, and that includes the water tanks on the top of the hill.
Wow.
That I've just blown away. Yeah, and so, one of the big things that we're looking at is, in order to get up here with the heavy equipment that will be needed to take these water tanks down, we will have to cross through, this area is a low-lying wet area, and we'll need to, at least pass through it. And, obviously we'll use all the protections we can think of to ensure that we don't cause any problems on the way through. But, with things like that, and, doing work over here that's very close by wetlands as well, what would you like to see when we formally submit?
Is some of this SVT land?
SBT. I'm not familiar with the acronym or the abbreviation.
Sudbury Valley Trustees. No, this is all still owned by the state and controlled by DCAM.
No,
that's-
but to that point, I will say that the Sudbury Valley Trustees, I believe, maintain some of the trails over in this side, which are connected back through. And there is a building that we are, and you can actually see it right here. It's an old pump station. That's in Westboro, and that's part of why I have to go before them separately to address that one.
Okay. Well, Dan, I'll just have my general perspective here on what should be covered would be identifying the highly sensitive areas. So if you're talking that road going back to the water towers and heavy equipment, and dealing with how you would protect those areas that are highly sensitive, and then standard protection for everything else. I mean, that's my 2 cents, but I think that probably Tom or a couple of folks that aren't here tonight would have better detail on that one. Tom, what do you think here in terms of what you'd want to see?
Well, most all of these areas are disturbed.
Yep.
You know, and they have driveways and gravel areas, and so I don't think, besides our standard silt fence and straw wattle type things to protect and keep anything from heading towards a wetland, I think that's probably the minimum. And the only other thing is probably if heavy equipment's got to go through a wetlands crossing, that either some crane mats are used or some temporary bridge that we've done. We've had other people do that in the past.
Right.
Right. And then some probably silt fence and straw bales or wattles wherever you might have to do the temporary bridge or the mats.
Yeah, so
Okay.
generally what we were kind of planning to do was to actually put, silt fence basically along both sides of the road as it crosses through this little valley right here. There is some BVW along parts of this road. The road is paved, but it does still get fairly wet. I mean, this is from the far side of it looking back toward the power plant is this building here, and that's the smokestack. So you're up, at the foot of the hill that leads up to the water tanks. There are some beaver dams, and it gets high water. I think this was the beginning of May. So our plan was to kind of lock off both sides with erosion controls and potentially have something something more permanent if we're going to have, we are going to need some fairly heavy equipment to get up there. This is a photo of what the tanks look like from the ground. So you are talking about some relatively large equipment to dismantle those. And we would be having to do a little bit of clear cutting at the top of the hill just to maneuver equipment around. We would be putting, some sort of perimeter erosion control around the cap on top of the hill and leaving that until, everything grows back at the end. But just cutting things down enough to be able to move equipment around basically within the fence line and have space for things to come down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no wetlands that's up there on the hill though, or really, is there, Dan?
There's not much. I mean, so full disclosure, we are in the process of getting, I have a scientist coming out in a couple of days. We're showing some erosion control on this part of the hill because this is kind of a wide flat area with, some potential as a laydown area. So this is a concept right now, but we may have, some equipment there. We are asking our wetland scientists to take a look at, some of these areas to make sure that there's nothing there. But the topography is a little bit, it's not as straightforward as the these 9-foot contours would tell you that, everything comes straight down off the hill in straight lines. It doesn't work that way. So we are just checking on that. And like I said, we did see some BBW coming up the roadway, basically where the road surface is somewhat elevated relative to some gullies on the side. And there's been some of those ferns that somebody else was talking about earlier that grow everywhere. So we'll take a look further at that, but yeah.
I think that lower section of the road, if you were to just do, crane mats, and whatever you got to do, if it's 50 or 80 feet, that gives you like a 1 foot elevation that you can run whatever you need to over it. And at the end, you can just pick the mats up and you should be fine. You just got to do a ramp at each end. That way you don't have to worry about crushing the old road and getting it all torn up and then having to try to restore that somehow.
Right.
And crane mats are relatively easy to get.
Yeah, we'll need something like that for other parts of the project anyway, so that's not really going to be an issue for us to specify that the contractor has to add, there's 1,200 feet to get out to this pump station over here, and it's all pretty wet. So, 80 feet here is not a big deal. We can certainly add that into the mix. Just for everyone's reference, this is a public procurement project. So it'll probably be bid, winter to early spring was kind of the timeline that we were looking for. And this is going to happen in the next construction season. We aren't looking to break ground before the end of the year this year. So, if there's any concern about seasonality or anything like that, we're amenable to hearing that. But, just for everyone's reference, we're not expecting to break ground until probably April with the demolition.
It's
Right,
be an
well-
NOI, Mia, correct?
I think that's what they're coming in to see if you wanted a full NOI or just could get the work done under an RDA.
I think due to the size of it,
Mhm.
it's going to require an order.
Yeah, that's where I am. It's a big project.
There's multiple locations, multiple wetlands, so I think we need to do an order on this.
And from a time perspective, with breaking in the spring, if they make the October meeting, I mean, if that's as a start, I mean, if there's a continuation for a month or two, it's not going to impact a lot.
Yeah, I mean, from my client's standpoint, the one thing that we want to make sure is that, as we're working through the bid documents and the design process and everything, we have clearly established, what the ground rules are. I don't want to design something, get it to 95%, construction documents have the state think that this is ready to go and then have to reconfigure anything. So, that's part of the reason for the informal discussion here is to get, read the tea leaves as best I can, but,
Right.
we'd love to have, some at least good sense of where the direction this is going to be before going too far with design.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Diane, any questions on your side or concerns?
Well, I was just thinking this last spring was so wet for months and you starting in April, but April and May were a lot of rain. Maybe a little extra protection and a willingness to put things off for another couple of months, maybe if they need to, just to get some drier land times. Just a thought.
Well, ideally, the tower demolition and the water tank demolition would be, if you could do that when it was frozen, just like when there's logging being done, in the wintertime when the ground's frozen, you have less of an impact. But I don't know that we can really stipulate that due to the scope of the project.
Yeah, and I mean, my other reaction to that, so that is one thing I had meant to ask about, but hadn't gotten there yet. But the other thought that I had is that we have several kind of distinct projects within the overall, and this one up here is kind of the higher priority for DCAM, removing these structures, and this is also going to be more invasive in terms of we're removing quite a few utilities from this building right here. This is called Chauncey Hall.
Chauncey Hall, yeah.
Yeah, and we're removing some sewer infrastructure that runs this way and some water infrastructure that runs through here. So there's going to be some fairly significant amounts of work here, and that can all be done. It's all on dry land. Up here, we're in close proximity to a wetland, and over here, we're fairly close to it with the with this driveway. But otherwise, we are quite a ways distant, and we can do this work in the dry. And if that has to be, April, May timeframe and waiting for, the rest of the site to dry out, these couple of buildings are also up on the side of a hill. So we'll have plenty of work to do before, the midsummer months, and we can wait for the water to come down a little bit before attacking the water tanks. If we can't get them done in frozen weather, we can leave those for last and, hopefully do those at a time like now that maybe everything's kind of in drought and the water levels are lower. I'm not enjoying the drought, but if that's the hand we have, we'll play it. So
it never seems to work out that way when you figure you're going to do something in July and August, and then it turns around, then you end up doing it in April and May.
Okay.
But I think if you broke it out in phases, that would be helpful, and then especially the wettest parts, throw that into, phase D or whatever. When we say phase D will be completed during dry times or frozen times. And that allows the rest of the work to proceed.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Mia, would multiple NOIs buy him anything, or would that just be a complicating factor?
Either one's fine. You can do phases if you want to get started and, you think you can package one, especially where I think we have multiple parcels. So we do like to see one file number per parcel, but I think we have multiple parcels out here.
So this is the abutters map, and all the buildings that we're showing are, so this is one massive piece of land right here.
You're right.
Wow.
And then, the Westboro one, and you can see this building here is the other one that I talked about. And part of one of these other buildings is in there. But yeah, so in terms of land in Northborough, actually, there might be a second, now that I think of it. So I think this is a second parcel here because there are two little sewage pumps right over here. So that might be actually a second piece of land.
Yeah. So we do like to have one file number per parcel. So we can break it out into phases.
Okay.
Or come back with an amendment. If you're not ready, you can come back and amend the original by adding more work on.
Yeah, just trying to see what gives him the most flexibility to be able to attack one parcel at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any more questions from the commission?
Not for me.
No? Got a big beer over your shoulder, Tom. Watch out.
Yeah, sorry. My my internet connection is unstable. I had to move closer.
Dan, did this help you out?
It did. And, like I said, I will take this feedback and use it. And like I said, I'm going to try and file in October to, come before you guys formally to request the work. So, hopefully it'll be a better document than it would have been otherwise.
When's the cutoff for October?
It's October 21st is the meeting, and we like to see it 2 weeks before. So October 7th, that's so we can file the legal ad. But if you're close, let me know, and I can just get some information you to place the legal ad. I'm usually a little soft on the deadlines.
Okay.
Super.
Oh, but not on notifying abutters. They're very strict about that. So.
Yeah, we have the abutter list. That's actually where this came from. So
okay.
Luckily, notifying ourselves is probably most of this work.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And then Dan, if you wouldn't mind also sending me, I'm looking for some contact information for the folks at DCAM that will be managing the property long-term, because we have some interest in town. They were looking for that information.
Yep. And I spoke with, so I'm working as a subcontractor to an architect who's actually got the prime contract with DCAM. I asked that question the other day. I'm working with 2 or 3 different people in different departments there. And then there's a separate department that's dealing with, long range planning, and separate department for environmental, and a separate department for construction. And I don't know who the right contact is. So I asked him that to, hopefully be able to provide you that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, super.
All right.
So Dan, if you're set, we're set.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for putting this together. Appreciate the heads up for sure.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right. I think we're good. I'm going to bring Dan to attendee. All right. Bring Diane to a panelist. Whoops. What did I do? Here we go. All right, Mia, that's what I've got. We've got, did we miss anything?
Did you want an update on Mount Pisgah? And then we've got the meeting calendar, open space committee representative, a little bit stuff at the end.
Yeah, let's do a quick Mount Pisgah Con area update. Is that you?
Yes, there's,
Okay.
so they moved the Sparrow Trail. I believe it was Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts moved the Sparrow Trail, and they're going to be helping out with this, the bridges over on Stirrup Brook behind the high school that came before you tonight.
Yep.
We were waiting for town council to find out about our expenses. There was some tree removal up on Ball Hill, the reward, the trail cameras, and the ATV. I just got that back from town council today, and it looks like the reward may not be covered because they had to really dive into those funds were generated by interest from CPC. Those large amounts of money that got voted in for community preservation, for open space and land protection and conservation. And so that money in the bank generated these funds. And so town council was trying to figure out what was an allowed use. So he thinks most of them, because most of them are for land maintenance and preservation and conservation, are covered, except not possibly the reward. So I have to meet with Kathy, the town planner, and my supervisor to delve into that a bit more. But that's why nothing has been done. We've gotten no trail cameras, no reward poster, no ATV. And we did get the trees removed. We just haven't paid the bill yet. So
I mean, is that company starting to chase us?
No, we reached out to them and let them know. So
Okay. All right. And who's reviewing the form in the police department? Is that being reviewed by town council also?
let me double check. I just met with Kathy about that. What did she say? She checked with the town administrator, and I've been green lighted. This was just the end of last week. Last Thursday. She checked with the town administrator. I've been green lighted. It's just a fillable form on the police department website, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So that's progress.
All right. So you think that we hopefully will get the approval for the trail cameras, the ATVs, and pay the tree company.
I'm hoping that those will be purchased by the next meeting.
Reward might be in jeopardy.
The reward might be in jeopardy.
Okay. All right.
So.
All right.
But we'll still have to buy some signs. Town council said that we should post signs that say this area is under surveillance. So
Okay.
I think we can get those on.
Any more damage up there lately?
The funny thing is, so they moved the Sparrow Trail. There was that eroded straight up Sparrow Trail. We moved it over, made it a zigzag. I haven't walked it yet. I'm going to go up, walk it, and blaze it. Right now it's just pink flagged. I'll pull those plastic flags down and blaze it. And so the previous site where we were abandoning was cut. There was additional cutting in the past month there. And then the rock work continues. I mean, someone is just very zealous. But the Trails Committee is working on a name for that loop connector that we decided to keep. And CMRPC is coming out this Wednesday to do the mapping up there.
Okay.
And I did break up that the little pond. There was someone kind of created like a little pond of stagnant water that was just breeding mosquitoes. And there's been no more reports of wasp attacks either. I don't know if I reported that there was some reports of wasp attacks this month. It landed someone and their dog in the hospital. So
Wow.
yeah, so we did try to spread the word that the wasps were out there.
Okay, good. Good. We'll get an update next month on progress then. We're making some, just a little
Yeah.
slower. That's okay. Expected.
There's a process. Yeah.
Meeting
So
calendar. Go
should
ahead,
we
Tom,
just
sorry.
get some signs posted that no tree cutting, something more that we can put up there?
I think we do need some signage. I'm preferred, and the Trails Committee suggested little signs, little circle that says like not a trail, and something with the town's logo, whether it says Northborough Conservation Commission or conservation land, just because people are they're going off trail. We did get another report of another family. I think it was a husband and wife and their 2 children. It was supposed to be a 1-hour hike. They got stranded up there for over 4 hours. They were completely turned around and frustrated. So it would be nice to post the not a trail signs. I know we don't have enough people to vote on it. And in the past, you guys have said no signs. So I don't know if we want to bring it up again next month.
Even if we just put it at the entrance, no tree cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Trails Committee is going to redo that kiosk. That kiosk is deteriorated. They have 2 over on the Yellick property that are really beautiful, and one's not really being used. They're really close to each other. They're going to dig it up, haul it over. So you might see some work in the parking lot there, putting that kiosk up. And then we can put some signs in it. And it definitely will put no tree cutting in there. I posted those, you posted those too, but getting one in the kiosk would be a good idea. And this area is under surveillance, and the new trail map.
That may help when you say it's under surveillance.
Yep.
So Northborough Police Department too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else on Pisgah?
No, otherwise it's quiet. Really good feedback on the Edmund Hill Trail. People are liking it. The reroute.
Good. Meeting calendar.
So the Sparrow Trail, I think that I saw the flags up. I think it's still got to go further.
Really?
Yes.
How so?
Towards Smith Road.
Because I think they built it.
It's already been, I haven't had a chance to go up there at all.
Yeah.
That's already done?
Yeah, I flagged it in like April. Yeah, and
Okay.
then the flags got ripped down. I rehung them in, I think, June with Brian. Trails Committee visited, approved the location. They made a few changes, and then they built it this month.
Oh, all right. It's done is done. Okay,
Meeting calendar.
very good. I unfortunately in the last month have not had a chance to go up there at all.
Yeah.
Well,
Been busy.
you've been busy. That's fine. That's good too.
Good to be busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was hoping for the meeting calendar. I don't have the Board of Selectmen's next few months meetings. I don't know if we want to do, because we post on the website so that people can plan their submittals, maybe just do 3 months at a time when I can get the Board of Selectmen's meeting calendar. And there's not many of you, there's only 3 of you. So it's not really a great time, but we've been doing Monday or Wednesday based on when the Board of Selectmen meet. So I think I'm going to continue with that pattern if that's okay.
We're Wednesday in October, right?
Yep. Wednesday, October 21st.
Do we have November dates yet? You're still waiting?
Yeah, we have November and December. I can get those for you. Gotta wake my computer up. Let's see. I have up through December. It's October 21st, then November 16th and December 14th.
And what days of the week are those, Mia?
October 21st is a Wednesday, November 16th is a Monday, and December 14th is a Monday.
Okay. That's good for the plan through the end of the year anyway.
Yep.
Open Space Committee representative. So Dan Clark will join us. He currently sits on Open Space. I don't know what seat he has there. Is it an open committee?
He
seat?
has an open one. Let me double check. I'm in there. I believe it is appointed by the Board of Selectmen, the Open Space Committee. So it'll be their issue. Yep, he's one of the open seats that was appointed by the Board of Selectmen. So he'll become, hopefully, if he accepts it, he'll become your Conservation Commission representative. He's going to join us at the October meeting.
Right, right.
And then the Open Space Committee will have to try to fill their empty seat.
Unless somebody on the commission here has a desire to take a seat, and Dan can keep his open seat, and that's an option too.
I haven't asked him yet. He and I are going to be meeting at the beginning of October to do like an orientation. So I haven't even asked him yet, what his plans are, if he plans to stay with Open Space.
All right.
He's
We
been
can
on
keep
it a
on-
while, so hopefully he'll want to keep it.
Yep. Okay. Just a matter of where he sits. Is
I
that
might,
Tom?
I said I might be willing.
Okay.
It's just time wise, that's all. What
Well,
they only-
they meet
they
like
meet-
every other month anyway. Like, doesn't it mean
Yeah,
it's
right.
kinda-
Right now they're doing their plan updates, so they're meeting monthly. But when that's over, they meet every other month as needed.
So I guess if Dan wants to keep his seat, you know what I mean? And then I would be willing to compromise and help out.
and take the commission seat.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
All
not
right.
really, but yeah.
We'll find out what Dan wants to do. I think there's a lot of people actually want to do. We've had a lot of interest. People might want to join the seat. We had 4 candidates for the one spot on conservation. That's
Well,
a
I
lot.
could go on to open space and you can fill my spot in the commission.
You can't leave conservation. Who's going
I
to tell us
can't.
where everything was?
I can't. Come on.
No, Wayne's gone. We
Well,
need
this is-
somebody who
this is
knows
where
where
it's
things
happening,
are.
Tom. Come on. That's it.
Maybe
Oh,
if
you got Diane.
Could you promise to find an old town contractor, like someone who's been in town since birth, who's a contractor to fill your spot? That would be a fair trade, as long as they're not mean.
Howie Stone passed away.
I
He
know.
did. He did.
He
did.
would have been the perfect candidate.
It would have been lively meetings for sure.
Yeah, long meetings.
All right. So we'll push that along. We have some options here. So that's a good thing.
Okay. There.
Community Preservation Committee application. We already have 120,000 for pond treatment for 5 years, right?
Yep. I wasn't if there's any other projects you guys wanted to bring forward.
We got a
I can't
drone.
think of anything. We have one. I've just been too busy to take the test. They closed the test down in like March when I was ready to take it, and now it's back up. And I'm so busy right
Okay.
now.
But we already
Yeah.
have a drone that we're going to get. So that's done.
I hope they haven't given it away. I haven't checked in a few months.
Okay. I can't think of anything. Tom or Diane, can you think of anything that
No.
we desperately need to spend money on? I can't.
I'm going to check with cable. And if they don't still have the drone, I'm going to draft an application for one because that's been on our list for a long time.
Okay, sure. Any other business?
Let me check. I think it's everything. There is an attendee here who's been here for a while. I don't know if we want to see if
Oh,
they
let me see.
wanted to.
Nick is here. Want to see what he's wants? What he's there?
If
Nick,
he's
I want to bring
interested in
you
anything.
on as a panelist.
He's raising his hand.
Nick, you're on, but you're muted.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to reach out to you guys and just kind of let you know that there's a group of citizens from Northborough that have created a group called Northborough Unleashed to help further the objective of creating a dog park in town. There's been a lot of safety concerns and issues at Kearney Park as it relates to dogs. And, we have you know, grabbed a few individuals and started a group to try to stand up a dog park. I know it's part of the master plan in the town. And you know, we're actively looking at sites and reaching out to various people in town. You know, our goal is to work with the town to try to stand up a dog park. I know there's been a few different attempts in the past that haven't succeeded, but there's still a lot of dog owners in town. A lot of people are still very interested in this activity, in this project. And so I just wanted to kind of make you guys aware of what we're trying to do, and see if you guys have any questions, thoughts, or concerns. You know, we're actively looking at different sites, town-owned land, to propose for a dog park. So we're in the early stages of kind of identifying places and working with town officials to kind of broach those subjects. I'll pause if there's any thoughts, concerns, and I apologize if I'm a little new to the format of these. And I've had some connection issues throughout the night, so I apologize.
No, I mean, you've been hanging with it for 2 hours. Good for you, right?
Yeah.
Have you spoken to Mia yet?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
we were
okay,
at the open space. A couple of us were at the open space forum last week. And so, like I said, we're in the early stages trying to make people aware of our group, what we're trying to do, and hopefully, you know, get some support from various departments within the town, because it is going to take a lot of different departments to help pull us off. We believe, especially if it concerns specific types of land to be used. And so, again, I just wanted to make you guys aware.
No, I mean, that's good, Nick. I mean, I think that my 2 cents here is that, I mean, Mia is a very important person to stay close to. She can certainly guide you on, you know, if what you're looking at is going to fly with us or not. And our concerns here would be, I would think, speaking for me, would be, you know, avoid the wetlands. Simple.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, that's definitely one of the biggest criteria in looking for a property, is to identify, you know, the most viable one. So we obviously, you know, want to work within the confines of whatever makes sense. You know, we've been talking with Mia, we've been leaning towards town-owned property for various reasons. One, the big one being trying to acquire private property to do this would be very costly and time consuming. And so, you know, when you look at the GIS map, it's hard not to find town property that doesn't have a lot of wetlands in it. Coming through that. But we found a couple of options that we're very interested in. One of which is McAfee Ellsworth towards the back. There is wetlands all the way in the back, but there is still a substantial amount of property, you know, after the setback there in the woods. So that's definitely a very promising property. Already has driveway, parking lots, infrastructure there, well traveled. So, you know, that was definitely on our radar. There's also some town-owned property on School Street near the DPW that is vacant that we're looking at as well. I'm trying to remember them all off the top of my head here. Sorry, I apologize.
No, don't. That's not a problem here. But, you know, I think that, you know, Mia, getting you some guidance early on some of those properties is going to be invaluable for you.
Yep,
I
absolutely.
wonder if there's any opportunities with the state, especially repurposing some of those old Westboro State location. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware of that project. You know, I'm definitely more interested now to understand, you know, the long-term goals there, for sure.
So the request for the DCAM contact was actually for Lee. Lee is from Northbrook. She's the contact I've been speaking with from Northbrook Unleashed, and I suggested she look on some of those Lyman Street properties. And then Dan called this week, and I said, "Well, Dan, I'd like to know who your contact is at DCAM." So I'm trying to get it for Lee.
Yeah. What does DCAM stand for?
it's the asset
Department-
management. Right?
It's what,
It's,
Department
it's
of
the
what?
Division of Capital Asset Management.
Management,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So they're the ones that handle all the things we own, that the state
Yep,
owns.
which are all those properties
asset
along the street.
management.
Okay,
Yep.
makes sense.
So it
Cool.
used to be Westboro State Hospital. It's still listed on our assessor's maps as Westboro State Hospital.
Yeah.
But DCAM's taken them over. DCAM is the one who sold them to Chauncey Del Webb in Westboro.
Okay. Yeah, Nick, I mean, if you were on, I mean, there's a lot of land there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely very attractive. I know
Yeah.
the last attempt was near the Yellick property, and that was state-owned property that had some issues. And so I think we were shy to go after state property, partly because, again, we're still learning this whole process. So it is great advice to hear that there's, state property that's a possibility, and hearing about it and this, in this meeting was definitely useful to us. So,
Good.
is there any other advice, thoughts, concerns you guys could impart? We will take any and all feedback. Like I said, we're just starting out, and we're trying to, make sure we work with you guys.
My personal opinion is that I don't know that I'd want to see the dog park combined with like McAfee, where you got all kinds of other activities. I would personally like to see the dog activity separate, so that somebody's dog goes running off somewhere, it doesn't run into kids in the soccer field and whatever.
Yep. No, that's definitely a valid concern. Definitely something we're definitely thinking about. We're very sensitive to that. We definitely would prefer a property, if we are taking some portion of a property or a whole property in its entirety, definitely want to have a natural boundary around the dog park for various reasons, that being one of them. And the McAfee property wouldn't be like raise all the trees and have this open field with a fence, and then all it takes is like 20 feet and they're in a soccer field. That definitely was not on our, we want something with a little bit of shade, maybe if we're lucky, and natural barrier for sure. But we're still looking at properties. We haven't obviously haven't excluded anything. We definitely will take that feedback and work that into, if that becomes a viable solution, we'll definitely work that into the plan.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate
Yep.
it. Appreciate your
Yeah.
time.
Stay close to me or any questions, she'll get us involved.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Nick.
Okay, good luck.
All right. Drop Nick. All right. I think that's it, Mia. That's all I got.
Me too.
Anything else, Diane or Tom? Anything else you want to bring up? Diane, you're muted.
We're relatively quiet on other violations.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have
Yay.
a long listing here today.
Yeah.
Good.
Lots of phone calls about the hearings. People they want copies of everything, I'm sending out a lot. They're like, oh, I got this about a notification. Send it to me. So lots of people interested. So I know people are looking.
Good.
Yep, good. Diane, anything from you? You with us still? Diane's muted.
She ducked out on us.
I think
She was
did.
having technical difficulties earlier, so maybe that's
Okay.
it.
All right.
Sorry.
Nope, you're back. Diane, anything else before we break for the evening?
No, nothing from me.
All right, super. Then we need a motion.
I move that we adjourn.
Tom, you got to second it.
Second.
All in favor. I'm gonna do a roll call. Diane Goldner,
Yes.
Tom Beals,
Yes.
and I vote yes too.
Great.
Diane's making her margaritas out back there.
I can hear that stirring going on. Good deal. Thanks, folks. Thanks, Mia.
Thank you.
All right,
Stay
good
well,
night.
everybody.
Thank you,
night,
Chief
everybody.
Parenti.
Yes, thank you, Chief. Very
Yes.
good. Pretty seamless. Nice job. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.